This is Internet Web Plain Talk, and I'm Norman Liss. This program is dedicated to clearing up, making clear, plowing through all the mud and all the confusion about the Internet and the World Wide Web. The web and the Internet are very interesting places. The question is it valuable to obtain information? Is it valuable to provide information? Is it valuable for advertisers? How does one make a profit? My guest today is Liss, who is the editor and publisher of Sales Marketing Network, an organization that perhaps has found the formula that is making a profit on the web. And we're going to learn all about it and maybe how we can apply it to our own uses. Bruce, let's get right into it now. What is the story on making the web profitable? Are there ways to do it?
Well, Norman, that's the age-old question, and actually we do think we found the answer, and the answer lies in viewing it as a target marketing vehicle, not as a mass marketing vehicle. It doesn't replace television, radio, or print. It's actually the first ever technology that enables a marketer to target people in a buying mode beyond, of course, the old yellow pages.
Right. Well, I don't understand what you mean by targeting people. So if you're a company and an organization and you want to reach out to specific people, you say that you can do it through the web, and how do you do it if that's so?
Well, that's the great power of the Internet. The real power of the Internet from a user standpoint, Norman, is the ability to get information on demand when you need it on a subject that's of specific interest.
We're not talking about people who play, who surf, as they call it, just seeing what's there, just because of the wonder of the fact that the technology allows you to get information at home or play games on it. We're talking about people who are seeking information at a specific time about a specific subject. So the provider of the information has to target that audience?
Well, the opportunity is that if your company is let's say you're in the pest control business, okay, and you want to identify people who are interested in pest control. Well, if your website, instead of just being an electronic brochure, has useful information about pest control that enables people to find out and identify the pests that live in their area and how they can deal with them, they can learn about integrated pest management, ways to avoid pesticide use or things like that. And then, by offering useful information, you get people to register or contact you. That's target marketing.
Right.
Okay.
But I don't want to make a pest of myself on this subject, but let's stay with this example. How do I, as a pest control company, how do I get people to know that my website exists? How do I reach out to them? Do I reach out through mail? Do I reach out to them through advertising and print media? How do I do it?
You're jumping the gun because the most important issue is content, number one. And since there's so much talk about marketing of the web, which I'll cover in a second, just remember the most important thing is to have useful content that could really help people specifically related to what you sell. Then in terms of marketing it, there are numerous ways. First off, have a URL, have a web address that is not your company name, but is the subject matter. For instance, this company that I'm talking about, the pest control company, their URL is nopests.com.
We don't use technical terms, so a URL is a web address that actually people who are on the Internet will actually type in and then go to that directly.
That's right. So their web address would be, you would contact them by going to nopests.com rather than JP McHale, which is the name of the company.
This is an actual example.
This is an actual example to illustrate the point that this company wanted to get people to come to their site, and so by having a web address with the name pests in there increases the chances that when someone uses a search engine, their website will come up, and indeed it does come up very regularly.
To you and me, the word search engine is very clear. Let's explain how a search engine works.
Well, of course, the search engine is one of numerous companies such as Yahoo, Lycos, Excite, InfoSeek that help people find information on the Internet.
So what do? You type in what you're looking for?
You type in the subject matter that you're looking for, you hit return, and then it does a search. And of course, these search engines are very, very, in my view, very ineffective because they're basically controlled by machines, not people, and they list sites indiscriminately with good sites mixed in with bad sites with no critique. So most of the search engines, to me, are barely useful. But You start, to answer your question, by having a web address, having useful information, and then having a web address that connotes the subject matter. If you're in music, then you want something with music or the type of music you're in. Then beyond that, viewing it as a target marketing tool, in all of your usual marketing to your usual clientele, be it postcards, be it brochures, be it trade shows, be it advertising, you're always telling them about your website. You don't just give them your web address like most sites. Most ads you'll see oftentimes just contact us at this address. We say, no, indicate the kind of useful information that they'll find on that site. If your company is a financial company and you have a currency exchange calculator on your website, say, visit our currency exchange calculator and find out the latest exchange rate, etc., etc.
So you're talking about the content, Bruce, and you're talking about the fact that the first thing you have to do is have content that is valuable to people.
That's right.
And then you have to take that content, not necessarily selling content, correct? Information that is valuable.
That's right.
And then you have to get a way to say to people that if you're seeking this sort of information, this is the place that you can find it on the internet.
That's right.
In every means that's available to you.
That's right.
What generates the most response? Is it mail? Is it search engines? What, in your experience, generates the most response?
Because the internet obviously is only used by about 20% of Americans at best, adult Americans, and that's probably high, it's best to target market, and that is on the internet. And we have advertised our site, the Sales Marketing Network, in the Wall Street Journal web directory, and that works quite well because the people who read that obviously are using the web. But we have found that marketing via the internet, on the internet, is the best way to go. But the problem is that most websites, we feel, don't have the internet figured out. They're pricing it as a mass marketing vehicle, not a target marketing vehicle, and they don't have it right. So we're very frustrated, but we have found a couple of very useful services, one of them known as Yo-Yo-Dine, which is in Westchester here as well, which has been extremely effective for us. So you want to get action on your website, you want to be marketing it through other websites, search engines if you can, or other sites related to what you sell to your customer.
Now, I want to get into actually what you do with the sales marketing network, but let's stay general for a moment here. We'll use that as an example. We're talking about providing information and getting people to come to your website. Let's talk about the other aspect of it. I'm a consumer. I'm in business, and I want information. How can I use it to my advantage to get information? How does the web work for me, and what's the best way to do it?
Well, for most people, the web, as I said, doesn't replace traditional means of keeping up with your industry. So you're going to continue to read your trade publications, or if you're a hobbyist, you'll read Railroad or News or whatever. The web is when you need something, is when you need to get some particular information. It might be 11 o'clock at night, it might be 3 in the morning, it might be that kind of person, and you want to find out the answer to something now. That is, in theory, what the web is about. The reason the web frustrates everybody right now is that we're at the beginning of the era of the internet, I believe, and it's tantamount to television in 1948. It's a little black tube with no content. And so most of the websites are simply electronic brochures and just a bunch of babble. But there are good sites out there that are attempting to provide very useful information, particularly in the area of sports and weather, by the way. Those are two beautifully developed areas where there's terrific content and where there's tremendous usage, by the way, and also in certain business areas. But most of the content still stinks, frankly.
How does one make a profit? The user, of course, profits from the information. The provider of information, how does one profit? You can charge for the service, as some people do, or you can have the advertisers pay, as they do in newspapers and magazines and print media.
Well, we sell advertising on the Sales Marketing Network, and we make money because we're enabled to sell an advertiser, and these are usually leading suppliers of selling and marketing products and services, from Marriott hotels and Hyatt hotels to interactive television and telephone type of companies, direct marketing companies. So what they're doing is sponsoring articles directly related to what they sell. These aren't advertisements for their products. These are articles, for instance, on how to implement an effective frequency marketing program sponsored by a company that does frequency marketing. And through our site, they get the names and titles of the people, the business people who access that article on a monthly basis.
I think we have to get specific here. What exactly is Sales Marketing Network, and how does it work?
Well, I didn't mean to get into a sales pitch, but I wanted to illustrate the point. And the point is, the Sales Marketing Network is basically a trade magazine on demand. But it is not a news publication. It enables people in sales and marketing to get reference and how-to information on every aspect of sales and marketing, from direct marketing to training. And it is free to subscribers. They must register. And it is sponsored by advertisers who advertise on articles directly related to what they sell. But they're independent articles written by journalists with years of experience writing for sales and marketing publications.
So it is a magazine in a very general, or maybe in a specific sense. It is providing feature articles on specific subjects.
It's even more refined than that. In fact, we wouldn't call ourselves a magazine because we think magazines play a very important function. No, it's a reference and how-to information on demand. This is for when, you have to run an event marketing program. I've never run an event marketing program before. Make yourself an expert right now. You go to the Sales Marketing Network at info-now.com. You go on to our event marketing article, and everything you need to become an expert will be there. We list all the major books, trade shows, seminars. There's a how-to article there, critical issues, legal issues. So very quickly, you can make yourself an expert. And that article will be sponsored by a supplier of event marketing services, and he or she is targeting someone who's learning about event marketing in the earliest stages of their buying program. So that's target marketing.
So we're talking about it now. You say content. Well, the content is very intense, and also in the content you are referring to other sites with links, which means for those who don't perhaps know how it works, but you can just point and click on something else. Is that correct? And it'll take you to another site, which will give you further information.
Yeah, we have a philosophy that we're going to tell you any site that is going to help you, and we will give you free access. We'll let you leave our site to go to that. We have no embarrassment about keeping people on our site. We don't use frames to keep...
What is a frame?
I'm sorry, we don't use techniques that keep our site up on the screen while you are perusing somebody else's site. I think that's dishonest, and I hope it's outlawed as the laws on the internet become clear, because that's stealing content. No, we'll literally let somebody click and go to another site, and we have no qualms about that. Our pledge to our reader is, if it's useful information, we'll tell you who it is, even if it's Sales Marketing Network rip-off artist. That's our pledge.
I want to continue on this subject, but first I do want to remind our viewers that we're talking today with Bruce Bolger, who's the editor and publisher of Sales Marketing Network, which is an information service in the sales and marketing field for people who want to gain information. A couple of things that you mentioned kind of in passing here. The advertisers are paying for you to provide this information. So you have turned this into a profitable venture by providing content, which you have said is very, very important, and by putting in advertising that relates to the subject that the people are. So that's targeting right in there, which is a very specific point for those people who are providing information and do have advertisers. It has to relate in.
Exactly.
You also said something else which I'm not clear on. You say that the information on who is doing the asking is given to the advertiser?
Yeah, we're a business site, and I'll explain how it works in the consumer area in a minute. There's a big issue on privacy with the internet, and we think it's a very simple issue, and that it can easily be resolved, and basically by the ethical behavior. On our registration form for the Sales Marketing Network, it clearly states before you hit the yes button that your name will never be sold to a third party. Trade magazines sell your name to 80, 100 companies a year. We will never sell your name. However, your name will be made available to the sponsors of the articles you accessed on a one-time basis each month. And we say that clearly. And if they don't want that if they want to be anonymous, we'll shortly be giving them the option where they can pay $30 a year and have complete anonymous access. We just haven't gotten to that. We'll be doing that in the next 6 weeks or so. So we clearly disclose that. We never give out home addresses. And the consumer market is a different model, which I can explain if you want.
Well, before we get into the consumer model, is your only means of providing this information through the internet? What if I'm not a person who's on the internet?
Well, we're actually probably one of the only websites that I know of, if maybe the only, that offers our complete service on via fax as well. So people can call an 800 number, 808 fax web, and they can subscribe via that service. And all of our articles are available by fax. But I will tell you that information on demand, savvy type of people, the people who understand what the information on demand world is all about, because that's a new world, and it's a small group of people so far, they're on the internet anyway. It's so easy today. But 1/10 of our usage today is fax usage.
And please get specific in how you have successfully and profitably, and you're one of the few organizations that have turned the internet into a profit-making venture. How do you get people to come to your site? Let's be specific about that. How do you get people to come to know about you?
Well, for the Sales Marketing Network, we formed an alliance with a major trade show in the area of sales and marketing that has a database of 50,000 sales and marketing executives. They publicized our site to all of their readers, or I should say all the people on their database, through all their direct marketing materials. We formed alliances with major trade associations in the sales and marketing field, in the promotion marketing field, and they advertise our site.
Why would they do this for you? You say you made an alliance, so how does one make an alliance? There has to be something where they're getting something in return.
Well, and there was, with the Motivation Show, which is this big sales and marketing show, they are getting an added value service that they're offering to all of their, subscribe to all of their people, and giving them reasons to come back. Again, it could be a long, complicated story here, but we are offering a new database called supplierfinder.com, where this is co-sponsored with that trade show, and where people will be able to find the names of sales and marketing suppliers nationwide and contact them via email in one automated system as a joint venture with that organization. So we're giving them added value.
Yes, and a happy relationship in a joint venture and added value is that everybody has to benefit from it.
That's right.
And so you give, but you also get.
That's right.
And so everybody benefits, and therefore it works out. You also mentioned advertising in Wall Street Journal.
Yeah, we've found that, as I said, anything marketing related to web users. So your key is, if you're, the best way to find a website is to look in public trade publications that cover websites. And a lot of them will check out websites and write about them. And I have found that's the best way to find out about a site. So that's where you should advertise if a publication has a web directory. But you should only advertise your site directly if you're a publisher like we are. If you're a pest control company or a local financial services company, you shouldn't be marketing your website that way, because you could only benefit regionally from your activity. We can benefit worldwide. We're an international company, but most people can only do business in Westchester, say many of your viewers. So they don't need to have people coming from all over the world. They only want people in Westchester, so they should take a more focused approach to marketing their site.
But the key to it, again, is providing information that is useful to the person, as opposed to a brochure that talks about how great the company is.
We think companies should do both, and we think most only do one. Most create electronic brochures, and because they're basically putting their websites in the hands of these technical kids, these kids aren't marketers, they're not editors. Okay, our background is marketing and editorial. So when we think the client should be thinking marketing editorial, not just graphics. So we love the fact that all these people, well, how do I get people to my site and back again? And then the kids come up, we'll make it interactive. Nonsense. Put useful information and update that information regularly. That's how you get business people or even hobbyists to a site.
Well, you're an editor. Your background is as an editor and co-publisher of Incentive Magazine and other publications that you edited. So you have that feeling. But what if you are a company that doesn't have that editorial ability? How is that information provided? I don't want to stay with the pest control, but it could be any sort of a business. What if you're a restaurant? What if you're a retail store? What if you're a supermarket? how do you get the information to provide that is useful to people who come and visit your site?
Well, the best way is to always say, who do you want to buy from? You want to buy from an expert, don't you? If you're going to make any kind of investment, you get the feeling that you feel best when you buy from an expert. So you should be using your website to show that you're an expert. Now, generally, you're an expert, but you're not a writer. If you sell insurance, you probably know a lot about insurance. So you hire a journalist in your local area who knows business writing, and you get them to write the article and interview you and use you as a source. But this is not a sales pitch. This article is totally objective. It even gives you information that could lead you down the road to another insurance person. Because the key here is to use the internet as a credibility building tool. Just like if you're local, let's say you have an article printed in a local business publication. Who knows how many people will read it the week it came out. But what you'll do is you'll take copies of it and you'll put it in your kit and you'll send it out to your local clients. And that's how you'll get mileage from it. It's a target marketing tool. Likewise with the internet. Use your site to say to people, gee, if you need this type of information, whenever you need it, it's up on our site. Here's our address. And by the way, you can register when you get to the site, and we'll make you a member of our frequent buyer club or whatever, depending on what you want to do.
We've been throwing out some addresses that people can check out your site a little more slowly now. What is the address? What is the URL, as you mentioned earlier? How do people find the Sales Marketing Network? What is the address?
Well, it's very simple. Just go to that little top line of any search engine of any browser that you use, and you just type in www.info-now.com. And that will get you directly to the sales marketing.
www.info-now.com. And we'll put that up on the closing credits as well.
Thank you.
But there's so much more information that you've provided and more that you have. I would also like to give a telephone number that people can call where they can get more information. It's in the 914 area because you're in Hastings, aren't you?
We're actually in Irvington.
And what is the telephone number?
It's 591-7600, and I'm at extension 230.
So we will put that phone number up also on the closing credits for people to do that. You have a profitable operation on the internet. That is a key word. A lot of people have what they call successful websites, but how do you measure profitability? Is it the good old way, or you're taking in more dollars than you're paying out? Is that what it amounts to?
It's that simple. We measure it two ways. Our whole business is essentially a target marketing business, and our website is about 60% of our overall company revenues. So our overall company, after 3 full years in business, is profitable. And if you break out our sales marketing network and you apply all its marketing costs and overhead and all of that, it too is profitable. That site alone has over $700,000 in advertising revenues, which may seem small, but that's basically the second year of a trade publication. And we don't have any print paper. Remember, the wonderful thing about the internet is we don't kill any trees, or very few, because we don't print a magazine each month. People get it when they need it electronically.
The profit all comes from the advertisers who are paying to have their message on the site relating to specific articles, and also getting a feedback of people who made inquiries about that subject.
That's right. And we have advertisers, for instance, we heard one the other day in the sales automation area. They make technology for automating your sales force, and this is a very sophisticated technology, and they told us that they're getting more results from this than traditional trade magazine advertising, which costs 10 times as much because it's target marketing. So the model out there for your viewers is view it as target marketing, and that means expend your money as if it's target marketing. We could have a whole philosophical discussion why the big companies are trying to present it as mass marketing, and that's nonsense.
I know that you put out postcards every month. Just reading this one, get the sales and marketing answers you need when you need them. It's fast, easy, and free by internet or fax. I mean, that really sums it up very well. But you're saying to the person who receives this postcard, that here's a place that you can go to get information free.
That's right.
What are some of the subjects that you cover? What are some of the areas? I know there's an index, because I've looked at your site. There's an index of the areas that you cover. Just why don't we run down some of those?
Well, the interesting thing is that I told you that we have a basic core overview article on every subject of sales and marketing except for advertising at this point. So that would be direct marketing, event marketing, event premiums and incentives, meetings, training, trade shows, sales management. Then we have breakout articles, and the overview articles tell you every piece of research in that field that we could find, and we update this regularly. Books, trade shows, seminars, critical issues, tax, legal issues, with links to many sites, and a lot of books are sold through our site, by the way. We list, of course, major books in every field. Then we have a lot of how-to articles. We just put up an article on frequency marketing, tremendous. You see, we can see the popularity of each article, and it's interesting to see.
Popularity by the number of people who
go to it. For instance, our most popular article this month was a new article that we put up on new product introductions, how to launch a new product. And a close second was this article on frequency marketing. We have an article on target marketing that is extremely popular every month. And it's interesting, you'd think it would flow from the order on which these articles appear on our contents page, but no, some of the most popular articles are all the way at the bottom. So that shows people are perusing the site, and it really tells you what people are looking for.
Yeah, and there's a lesson to be learned. Your site is all content. Your site is all information, because you're not selling your company on your site.
That's right.
Well, so what you're doing is providing all content, and what you're saying is that any company should be providing content as a means to sell the company.
We have over 1,000 people registering and giving us detailed information about themselves every single month. These are business people from all over the world. We just got our latest report today, or downloaded it. And these are top executives at a bank in Qatar. I don't even know how to pronounce it, on the Saudi Arabian Peninsula. Worldwide usage, very high level. IBM Moscow, senior executives are regular subscribers and users to our site. So when you give useful information, people are willing to tell you an awful lot.
And it's free.
And it's free.
But you say that you have to register. The cost is not there. Unless you want to pay the $30 and not have your name given to the advertiser.
We haven't even done that yet. We're instituting that in 6 weeks. And there's really no reason why we're doing it other than to just get additional money. I mean, because if someone right now doesn't want to register, I don't care. At this point, it doesn't matter to us.
It seems to me that you have found the answer that can be related. And I thank you so much for coming here and opening up our eyes about the possibilities of the Internet. I'm a believer, but I am also a cynic, because I've seen a lot of things happening and a lot of talk about it, but very little action. I think you found the answer, and I'm delighted you came here and told us all about it. My guest today was Bolger, who is the editor-publisher of Sales Marketing Network, an organization that has found the answer on how to make the Internet and the World Wide Web profitable. And that's what this program is all about, clarifying the mud, the confusion about the Internet web. Use the information. It's valuable. I'm Norman Liss. Until next time, go get it.